So we started the show by talking about the Padres and their level of aggressiveness with the trade deadline about 8 weeks away. Jeff Passan today saying the Padres have been hunting for starters even before Yu Darvish and Joe Musgrove went on the IL. Mm-hmm. Dennis Lin, Ken Rosenthal following up with a specific name you just said in your update. Garrett Crochet. 24-year-old, having a very good year for the White Sox, controllable through 2026. What are they going to do? I think there's only one real answer. We don't know if they're going to acquire Garrett Crochet, but we do know they're going to go down the path of making an acquisition because that's who this guy is. I mean, A.J. Preller is always on the hunt, whether it's trade season or not. He's without Yu Darvish. He's without Joe Musgrove. They're being linked to Garrett Crochet. There's still so much time. I mean, there's 8 weeks until the deadline, but it's almost hard to envision that he isn't doing something of substance with his rotation at the deadline or before.
That line in the report of the about the Padres looking for starting pitching before Darvish and Musgrove went on the IL. Yeah, probably, because that's what every team does that's in contention. Like, oh, yeah, we need to look at some starting pitching. When those two guys went down, that's when things started to ramp up. No doubt about it in my mind, because they're in a position where you're in a mid-National League. I do believe this team will make the postseason. I don't know how good they're going to be, but it's just get in the tournament and see what happens. But with the loss of Musgrove potentially for the rest of the season and the loss of Darvish for an extended period of time, and who knows how he's going to fare out for the rest of the year. He can make another IL stint because of his neck or back or whatever, right? Because he's old. The 2 IL stints that, occurred over the weekend definitely, in my opinion, ramped up their, need for starting pitching and them going out and trying to get starting pitching in my mind.
I agree with you. I mean, Jeff Passan writes this exact sentence. Even after getting Dylan Cease, the state of San Diego's starting pitching is grim. And the Padres are going to need to get creative to fill the void and still remain under the luxury tax, by the way. They have $10 million or so to play with. So he's saying it's grim. He's pulling
dire
no punches.
Need.
He honestly, dude, to get through 100 games, and I'm not saying they have to do it without Musgrove and Darvish, but let's just go down that path. If you had to get through 100 games without these two workhorses, do you really have confidence that they make the postseason? In that scenario, that almost is hard to envision. And that's why it's almost like a necessity, because he might be without one of them.
Well, you know why I think I have confidence is because how just average the National League is.
No, I don't have confidence. If they didn't have Darvish or Musgrove and they didn't make a move, I don't have confidence. No, not 100 games.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, it'd be real tough.
But also, Preller can't sit here and wait. Like the moves for Cease and the moves for Luis Ariz were moves that he hasn't, frankly, made in the past. Like
that early?
Mm-hmm. He's made those moves at the deadline and those moves in the offseason, but that early in a season,
right?
He's never made because he knows that this is a very important year, and he's not going to wait around to see if this team's good or not. He's not going to wait around to see if this pitching staff's going to hold up or not. He went out and made the moves that he thought was best for the team at the time with Dylan Cease and Luis Ariz, both, to me, so far, home run moves that he's made. We'll see down the road if, Drew Thorpe all of a sudden becomes like Cy Young with the White Sox. But right now, Dylan Cease is, thank God they have Dylan Cease. Imagine if they didn't. That'd be a problem. And thank God they have Luis Ariz. Imagine if they didn't. That'd be a problem. So I would expect, and I would not be surprised at all if Preller makes a trade for another pitcher this month.
The other name they've been tied to, and we've seen over the last 24 hours and has been referenced for weeks on end, is Jesus Luzardo, who tonight gives up 9 runs.
Perfect. Trade value's gone down.
He's got a 5.3 ERA this year with the Miami Marlins, but there'll be other names. We had...
Get him with Niebla. Everything we find.
We talked about Tyler Anderson yesterday, who pitched very well against the Padres, left-handed starter, veteran.
Does make a lot of money.
But the point is, even just in rambling, Crochet, Anderson, Luzardo, this is 3 of maybe 30 possibilities between now and the actual trade deadline. Yeah, that's an interesting conversation. Like, is it necessary? Well, some of it probably depends on what happens with someone like Adam Mazur, who makes his debut tonight. If he is capable of making 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 effective starts. We don't know if he is or not. If he goes out there tonight and goes 5 shutout innings, maybe the conversation changes a little bit. Maybe it doesn't. But you're asking a lot of guys like Major, Morahone, Brito, Vasquez. Is that combination going to be enough to get the team, or do you want the sure thing of like, let's just go find a major league starter that can make 20 starts and help us get there?
For 100 games, no. You need to go out and find another pitcher.
It's a lot of games.
For 20 games, you can maybe do it.
Right.
Like if you got like 7 really good starts from Adam Major, but that's cool, right? But he's not going to pitch 100 innings this year for you.
No, probably not.
He's not.
Yep.
He's just not. Michael King surpassed the most innings he's ever thrown in the big leagues this year. We don't know how he's going to fare once he gets past that mark. Like what happens when he gets to 130 innings and his body's like, whoa, like, is he going to push through some walls here and pitch like he is pitching right now for the remainder of the season, or like be consistent? The only guy that I really trust in that rotation is Dylan Cease, because he's done it before.
Mm-hmm.
And his body is equipped to go 180 plus innings. Matt Waldron, Michael King, Adam Major, Johnny Brito, Randy Vasquez, those are all just like, hey, I don't know.
Roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
So you're right. Michael King, this is to his credit, he has already thrown a team high 73 innings, more than Dylan Cease. Dylan Cease has thrown 71 innings. Michael King has thrown 73 innings. He's only allowed 59 hits, by the way, in those 73 innings. But to your point, we're not even at the halfway point. You just like pace this thing out. And what is that? Like 175?
From going from 100 to 175. And like, how is he going to be at the end of the year?
Right.
When you need him to be his best.
Through 180.
When you need him to be his absolute best if you plan on making a run in the postseason.
Because of that speaks actually to Passan's point that, like, even if you had Darvish and Musgrove, I would be like, you got to add. We don't know about King in the second half of the season. We don't know about Waldron all year. Is this knuckleball going to hold up? He's been awesome recently. He has exceeded expectations. By the way, King, Cease, Waldron all have sub-4 ERAs. King, Cease, Waldron all have sub-4 ERAs. That's good. But now what about your other two spots?
So Michael King, most innings he's ever pitched in his entire career was 100 last year with the Yankees.
Okay.
Matt Waldron, the most he's ever pitched in his entire career is right now, 63 and a third.
Do you worry about it with him?
He's kind of got a rubber, like knuckleball guy. Yes. But still, I'm with you. Like, just this is my point. And then if I'm going to go to Randy Vasquez here, all right.
Mm-hmm.
The most innings Randy Vasquez has pitched in his entire career is...
It's not going to be a ton, that's for sure.
It will not be a ton. It will be last year with the Yankees, 37 and 2/3. All right. The pitcher that they're trying to, I guess, acquire right now, and Garrett Crochet, the most he's ever pitched was
this year.
60. What is he at right now? 69 and 2/3 innings. If 4/5 of your rotation are guys that their career highs in innings don't top 100, a little scary.
Well, I guess
you traded for like Garrett Crochet, which we're talking about. I'm not anti Garrett Crochet. I'm not anti. I would want them to go out and get Garrett Crochet, but I'm just telling you, it's not, I feel like, this home run move that some people might consider, just given the fact that you got now 4 guys in your rotation all going to have the most innings is ever pitched in their entire career happen this year with the Padres.
But do you even need them to hit a home run, or do you need someone to do the job that currently nobody is doing? Like, you have multiple spots open in your rotation. Yeah, you could go low ceiling Tyler Anderson, just hypothetically speaking. He's had a very good year. You kind of know what you're going to get out of him. You could go with a player like that, or you could go a higher ceiling, more controllable piece. It's like, what are you looking for? I don't know if they're looking to hit a home run. I think what they're looking for is to avoid at all costs 2021 Vasquez and whomever. 2023 Musgrove goes on the IL the day after the trade deadline. Chris Paddock goes on the IL the day after. Like, you got to account for the fact that someone is potentially likely to go on the IL after the deadline. It happens every year with the Padres.
Yes, you're right. And when I say home run with Garrett Crochet, I think it has to be because you'd be giving up top prospects for him.
But I think the reason you'd be giving up top prospects is he makes no money and he's controllable through 2026.
Yeah.
So what do you want?
I want a home run.
But I'm saying you're getting a lot for a guy that's under control through 2026 and is having this really good year.
Yeah. And I don't want him to be just average for you.
Yeah, but I know I guess my point is, can we guarantee? Give me a name, Jesus Luzardo. Can we guarantee he's better than average?
Is there another pitcher out there that is a proven guy?
I'm sure,
and available, and isn't going to cost a lot as far as prospect capital goes, that you can go out there and get, and he's just going to be just as effective as if you went out and got Garrett Crochet?
I think the answer is probably yes.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, and I don't know if they're going to be available now.
Because what Preller loves to do is always go for the home run. To me, a Garrett Crochet, because of the controllable years, because of his age, because of, you look at his advanced stats here, right? The cost of him, that's a home run. That's a home run. Like, in the sense of you're going to be trading some very well-known prospects to get him if that were to happen. So it better turn out to work for you.
Yeah, I know, but you can't. I understand what you're saying, but you can't not do the deal because you're not 100% certain what's going to happen in the future as a result of the deal.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just like, if they made the deal, I would still sit here and be like, I have questions about him. Hey, can he last for an entire season when this is the most innings he's ever pitched in his entire career?
I get your point. I guess my point is I would have questions if they traded for Shota Imanaga, not happening. We'd have questions. If they traded for Ranger Suarez, not happening. We'd have questions like, oh, he's not the same pitcher in San Diego, or oh, his innings are, he's taxed. There's always this. I mean, Joe Musgrove was a legitimate workhorse in his prime that has now broken down to some extent.
His arms, given out. Yeah.
This guy was as good as gold, right? Late 20s, not a ton of tread on the tire.
I mean, the reason why they signed him, because he thought he was the guy that's going to give you 180 innings per year.
And that's the thing. It felt like a pretty good investment at the time. We were proponents of it. It felt like a hometown discount.
Well, we know starting pitching is such a crapshoot.
That's the thing. It is a crapshoot. So maybe in your theory or your point is, then don't go high risk. Go low risk, low ceiling.
So would you put Garrett Crochet in a high risk?
I haven't done
like
the
high
dive.
Risk, high reward.
Probably riskier with reward, which is actually the type of way that I would prefer to invest than the low risk, low payoff. Look Rich Hill. Give me a break. Yeah. Costs you nothing, but you get nothing out of it.
You get it actually hurts you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think they'll go for a Rich Hill type, assuming that they're in it. Last year they were like quasi in it. This year, and there's still so much baseball. It's almost laughable to discuss standings at 63 games. Like, I feel like you're really discussing maybe like the 100 game mark.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But Garrett Crochet is a pitcher. It would be interesting though if the White Sox traded him, because you would think
you'd want to
keep him to like build around. Because besides his ERA, every single one of his numbers is great. His WHIP is below 1. His batting average against is below 200.
Strikeouts are crazy high.
His strikeouts are crazy high. 93 strikeouts in 69 2/3 innings.
Yep.
Doesn't really walk a lot of people. He's only walked 15 guys this year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird how like the White Sox would be doing another trade like that.
Right. And by the way, in this article, it said nothing imminent, and who knows if they can lock horns on a deal, because the Padres have gone to the well of their system so often recently. Soto, Arise, Cease. Like, do the White Sox even want what the Padres are offering? There's a very good chance they're not offering Ethan Salas. Nobody's arguing for them. I'm not saying go trade Ethan Salas. I'm just saying if it did cost you one or two of your top handful of prospects, are you willing to move them to, quote unquote, not assure yourself a playoff spot, but put you in a better spot to reach the postseason? Is it worth that risk? Like, someone put on the text line, but what if they lose in the first round? Well, nobody can predict that. So what if they lose in the first round, but what if they lose in the first round next year? So you're going to hold your prospects because they might lose in the wild card round? I feel like he's a very, I know he's a very aggressive general manager. I don't think he's going to change his DNA this year and lack that aggression at the trade deadline. I feel like he's actually going to go further all in to do everything in his power to assure the fact that the Padres reach the postseason in 2024 after disappointing in 2023.
Don't usually do this in radio. You don't single out somebody in radio, but this guy in the text line is 858 number. Bro, you're a freaking moron. You listen to us, okay? And you constantly text us on the text line. We're not the idiots. You're the idiot because you say you don't like to listen to us, but guess what? You listen to us all the freaking time. And you're calling us hacks and you're calling us morons and all this stuff. Thanks for listening, but you're the idiot because you listen to us.
Yeah, I agree with that. And he'll keep listening because now you're
right. Yeah. Exactly. Congratulations. I singled you out, buddy.
Congratulations, 858.
Yeah.
If you want to text us, by the way, 70470, you can start your message with the word team. Again, 70470. Start your message with the word team. This was the text I was referring to. Okay, JS. But if he trades to make the playoffs, gets booted in the first round, and in 2 years our farm is depleted and we have to pay players with a lower payroll, then what? I don't care. I mean, he has proven before he can replenish. He's also proven that he could acquire players like Luis Ariz and Dylan Cease. So, like, he acquired proven commodities this year with his system. It's like, in Preller, I trust until he's gone. He either gets the team to the promised land, aka the postseason, or he doesn't. But he's got to get him there. I don't see why you would sit on your hands if you're Preller, not make the move, and then put yourself at jeopardy as a GM. So I think he's inclined to do the aggressive, higher risk, higher ceiling move. But we'll see if that's
whatever it is. He's going to make a move. Like, he will make a move, guaranteed.
Yep.
Because when he feels somewhat decent about his roster and when his team is in contention, like, he just can't sit still. He has to tinker. And frankly, he has to do a move for the pitching staff side because there's just a bunch of unknowns going to the rest of the season. And you can't just sit here and wait for guys to potentially come back. You have to be aggressive and you have to say, all right, well, can't really trust Joe to make a return this year. Hopefully he does, but I'm not going to sit here and trust it. So I got to go out and I got to make a move and I got to fix that while we have a bunch of time, because realistically in baseball, it's just about getting in. It's all that matters is just getting in.
Diamondbacks, Phillies.
And I saw a tweet today. It was like, if history holds true, one of these teams will be in the World Series this year. And it was like from the Padres all the way down.
It's like the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cardinals, Cubs, Giants, Nationals. Like, it was like, if history stands true in the National League, one of these teams, one of the last wild card teams, is going to be in the World Series this year.
And, like, truth be told, we've had this conversation before, and we can do so maybe on the other side. I mean, we're looking way down the road, but, like, if you did tell me they had Dylan Cease and Garrett Crochet and a healthy Yu Darvish, I tell you they got a shot. Like, that's what I would tell you. If you told me right now, I get 2024 Garrett Crochet, I've got 2024 Dylan Cease, and I'm betting on the upside of Yu Darvish, I'll take my chances. To your point, like, the point of just get in and then anything can happen. If I got Dylan Cease and a healthy Yu Darvish and a healthy Garrett Crochet, I will absolutely take my chances in that hypothetical.
There's also that thing where it's like, if you, is that the number? No, it's not. If I was like, sure, bring him on, idiot. If you do get to the postseason and you do have a bunch of injuries in your rotation,
sure,
then it's a different story.
You got no shot.
Like in 2020.
Yeah. Even 2021 if they would have made it 100%.
Yeah. It's about being hot at the right time and being healthy at the right time. But if you have no pitching, and it's a bit kind of a problem.